morning. It's Sharon. I hope all is well. I thought I would just step in because I think sometimes we think about winning, and one of the things that we do when we are going after a goal, I don't care if it's an educational goal, I don't care if it's a business goal, I don't care if it's just a health goal. Sometimes what happens is that we become very tight. We become very tight. Hey, Gigi. And so, what I wanted to do is to really have a conversation about how and what do we need to do to loosen up so that we can be successful. What do we need to do, and how do we need to do different things so that we can be successful? And I'm coming to you from Birmingham in the midst of my hotel room. Well, the first thing I want you to write down is that for us to win, we have to loosen our minds, loosen our heads, loosen our minds. Now, the reason why is that when we start becoming successful, successful has a way of seducing us. Hey, the glory. Success has a way of seducing us. So the more successful we become, guess what? The more that we want to stick to what we are doing. We become very compliant to rules and policies and paradigms. We start to conform to societal norms. We start to conform to how people want us to show up. And not only do we become more compliant, we become more conforming, but we become more conservative. And we stop taking the risk that we need to take to be successful. Hey, look, Miss Bean and Stephen. So when we think about success, success cannot happen if we stop taking risk. And that's why success is so seductive, because success, instead of stretching us sometimes success starts to make us shrink because we want to keep doing what we are doing. And we think that today's success will help us be successful tomorrow. But what makes us success today will not make us success tomorrow, especially in a fast-paced, complex market. So we have to remember that sometimes success makes us shrink, and it makes us conservative, it makes us conform, and it makes us comply. But also we have to be careful, because even though success seduces us, failure fools us. Failure fools us, and it makes us feel that we're not capable. Now, three things that failure does that we have to be aware of so we don't stop winning is that failure makes us lose our courage. And so the things that made us successful was that we were courageous and that we were risk takers. But when we start to fail, and remember, failure is only data, we stop doing what we need to do and we lose our courage. Now, we need to be courageous because courageous causes two important things that we cannot live without if we want to be successful. One, courage helps us be creative. Hi, Trina. We will not be creative without courage, because being creative really is a sign of rebellion. Being creative is a sign of courage. Being creative is a sign of risk. And so if we are not have courage, we won't be courageous, we won't be creative, we will also not be curious. It takes a lot of courage to say, what if? It takes a lot of courage to say, why not? Hey, Trina, Chanel, and Shelly, and Kim, and June. I'm on IG and Facebook at the same time. So when we think about being successful, if we lose our courage because we start losing, we think that we're failing, we will stop being creative, we will stop being curious, and we need to be curious and creative because both of those are important for us to have success. So I want you to think about, are we shrinking our minds because we're being seduced by success, or we're being fooled by failure? Both of those have an impact on our mind and our thinking and prevent us from winning. So what we need to do is loosen up. Open our minds to possibility. Look at what's not present, but look at what's absent. Sometimes the anomalies help us to advance. So we want to think about what is missing and what can I add. Also look at not only anomalies and what's absent, look at what causes people adversity. And those are places that you can tap into to win. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if it's love. I don't care if it's your health. Ask yourself, what's absent? What's preventing me from advancing? Where are the sticking points? And that's where we can open our minds to look at more possibility to be successful. So the first way to loosen up is your mind. The second way to loosen up is our heart. Let me tell you, we cannot be successful by ourselves. And we have to open up our hearts to trust someone to help us. Success never happens in isolation. It happens in community. But if we're being honest, we can say that some of the people that we needed to help us let us down. They betrayed us, they lied to us. And so what happens, we have become so tight in our hearts that we will not allow people in our hearts, in our lives, to help us. You will never be successful if you don't have a tribe. You will never be successful without a community. So yes, you might have been betrayed. Yes, they might have stolen from you. Yes, they might have hurt you. So, but what we have to do is look at that experience as a lesson learned and use that experience to help us identify people better in the future. We cannot unring the bell. People have hurt us, but what we can do is not allow our pain to make us a prisoner to the help that we need. You need to be successful. I don't care if it's to lose weight. I don't care if it's to start a business. I don't care if it's in corporate America. You need supporters. You need mentors. You need help. The last thing you can do is to be skillful but have no support. To be successful, you need skills, but you need support and a strategy. And sometimes the support that you need, the strategies that you need will be in the hands, in the minds, in the hearts of other people. So you have to open your heart. You got to try again. You got to trust. And hi, Jackie and Portia. And that means that we have to sometimes find a coach. And remember that just because a coach is popular does not mean that they are proficient. So many times we try to find people who are popular, but just because they're popular doesn't mean they're proficient. There are a lot of quacks out there, right? But just because somebody hurts us does not mean that everybody's going to hurt us. Just because we went to a bad doctor doesn't mean that all doctors are bad. Just because we had a bad marriage doesn't mean that all men or all women are bad. Just because we went to a bad church doesn't mean that all churches are bad. So we got to be careful that we don't lump everybody together and we deny ourselves the support that we need to move forward. We have to trust. We have to trust ourselves to make better decisions, and we have to trust other people because we need each other. Hey, Janatica and Jacqueline and Maxine. So the third thing we have to do, we have to, again, open our heart, our minds, open our hearts. Here's the hard thing. We have to open our hands. This is the hard thing. And if you are here, please share the cast, the Facebook Live, if you feel like it's something that is resonating. We have to open our hand. Now, that's the hard thing, right? So when we think about our hand, opening our hand so that we can be successful. Hey, Venice, we're thinking about opening our hand. That means that we have to look at our time, our talent, and our treasure. Our time, our talent, our treasure, which means that we have to find a way to upgrade our talent, which means that we have to go get some skills or renew our skills. We have to dedicate our time, discipline, and being devoted and not being distracted. But here's the hard part, our treasure, our money. And so often I hear people say, hey, Dr. Talisha, hey, Venice, that I don't want to spend my money. But let me tell you, you can always get more money, but you can't get more time. And sometimes the very thing that we need is to spend money to get help, to get resources, to create space in our lives. We need money. I don't care if it's to get a maid. I don't care if it's somebody to wash our car, to cook our food, to help us with our business. You need support. You need to spend your money. I was talking to one of my friends last night. Her name is Petra Jackson. And she was saying, listen, you just have to get someone to help you. You have to pay someone to provide some support. And sometimes that's really hard, because we don't want to lose or release our money. But I want to tell you to do something that I ask my clients to do. I want you to make 2 columns. On one column, I want you to put money. And on another column, I want you to list some things you're going to lose. And why do I want you to do that? Well, in the 1980s, I've been very honest that I had a bad eating disorder. I mean, I would eat all the time as a way of numbing my pain. And I remember that there was this coach that cost $800. This was the late 80s. And I'm like, oh, $800. I'm never going to do that. That's a lot of money. I'm never going to do that. But this is what I did. I put the $800 on one column. And on the other sheet of the page, I listed everything that I was losing. And guess what I was losing? One, I was losing promotions because I lacked self-confidence, because I thought I was fat and I thought I was yucky and I thought I was not attractive. So I lost promotions because I would not go for them. So I lost opportunities because I didn't feel good about myself. 2, I allowed myself to be in bad relationships. One of the relationships broke my ribs. Why? Because I hated myself and I kept attracting other people to hate me too. Why? Because I didn't feel good about myself. 3, I kept missing out on good friendships that I needed. Why? Because I would not go out, because I felt badly about myself. So I did not make myself open to nurturing friendships. 4, one of the 4 things that I stopped doing, I didn't publish my book. My first book, hey, Dr. Talisha, I wrote my first book in the late 80s. I did not publish a book to 2000, I think, in 13. Just think about that. Why? I lost time doing my purpose because I didn't feel good about myself. So if you think about it, $800 on one side, but look at all the things that I lost because I thought that $800 was a lot. I lost time. I lost more self-esteem. I lost going after promotions. I hurt my career. I lost so many blessings because I didn't want to pay $800. So I want you to put that in perspective. Sometimes we think $800, $900 is a lot, but we don't think about all of the impact that it has on our lives when we don't love ourselves, when we don't trust ourselves, when we don't believe ourselves. And I don't care if you go and buy expensive clothes. Expensive clothes will never overcome empty character. I don't care if you have a whole bunch of credentials. You can have 15,000 degrees. A whole bunch of credentials will not give you self-confidence. I don't care if you have a whole bunch of insignias. Insignias is not going to make you feel confident and comfortable and clear and comfortable in your own skin. So I want us to think about it. I love what the Glory says, is that when you spend money in yourself, it's like investing. And if you don't feel like you are a good investment, why should somebody else invest in you? Why should somebody else invest their time, talent, and their treasure in you when you're not willing to invest in yourself? So I want us to think about, are we holding things too tight that's preventing us from winning? Are we holding things too tight that's preventing us from moving forward? So again, are you holding your mind too tight because you've been seduced by success and you think you know all there is to know and you're not open to learning anymore? Or are you letting your mind hold you too tight because you failed and you're being fooled by failure and you think that you don't know enough, so you're losing your creativity, your courage, and your curiosity? Are you holding too tight on your heart so that you're not allowing people in so that you can get the help that you need? Are you holding your heart so tight that you're not trusting people to show up for you, trusting people to help you, trusting people to hold you accountable because you've been hurt? We all have been hurt. I have had coaches lie to me, not deliver, under deliver, not perform, steal my money, all of that. But all of that cannot prevent me from stepping out again and trying again. I'm going to say it again. Just because you go to one bad doctor doesn't mean every doctor is bad. We all are going to encounter some quacks in our life, but the quacks can't make you quit. Don't let the quacks make you quit. And the third thing, are you so tight on your time, talent, and your treasure that you are not investing in yourself? Some of us hold $1 so tight we can make George Washington want to holler. And holding $1 so tight is not going to help you. We have to watch our time, our talent, and our treasure. So I just wanted to share that with you. I was talking about that to my client. Loosen up your mind, loosen up your heart, loosen up your hand, because your success is in your head, your heart in your hand. And if you're holding everything so tight, you're not going to be successful. I'm going to leave you with this. I remember when I was an athlete. I used to be an athlete now. And in the day, and one of the things that we used to do before we would run a race, because I used to play track and basketball, we used to loosen up, right? We used to loosen up our bodies. Why? Because the loosening up of our bodies and stretching our bodies helped us to perform. Now, if anybody is an athlete, people should know that, right? You loosen up and you stretch out so that you can perform. It's the same with your mind. You have to loosen up your mind to be open to new ideas, to be resilient, to not be judgmental, to not have assumptions, not to let the data dictate everything. Because remember, you always have to leave some room for faith. You have to loosen up your mind. You have to loosen up your heart. Stretch your heart. The smaller you are, the smaller success you're going to have. The smaller people are going to help you. The smaller your ability will be. You have to loosen up your hand. Nothing happens when you're tight. You don't perform when you're tight. So ask yourself if you're tight. And if so, ask yourself, are there ways that you can open up so that you can be successful? Because the best is yet to come. So I want to encourage you. I want to invite you to join me on social media. I want to invite you to join me in my mailing list. I want you to invite me in Dare to Soar High, Dare to Be Me. We are closed. We just started our new program, so we won't open a new cohort to maybe March. But if you're a corporate woman, a woman of color, I'm starting a program to help corporate women perform in corporate America. So many people are not showing up in corporate America because they're tight. They're tight, and they feel that they don't have what it takes. And then they leave corporate America broken and want to start a business. But let me tell you, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And we want to make sure that you're healed and ready to embark on entrepreneurship after you heal your soul. So if you are interested in being part of the beta program for the coaching program for women of color in corporate America or in institutional settings, please inbox me. And also, if not, please join the Dare to So Higher Facebook group. And if not, please join my mailing list. If not, let's just try to connect. I want to make sure that we don't minimize our success because we are tight. All right? So listen, blessings to you always. Blessings to you from Birmingham. I've been on 3 time zones in 5 days, but I'm excited I get to go home tonight, and be in my own bed tomorrow. So blessings to you. Oh my God, I forgot to look at the comments. I'm sorry, because I'm on Instagram too. So all the people who left comments, I'm sorry I didn't see them. And let's dare so higher, because the best is yet to come. Blessings to you, and thanks so much for joining me this morning. God bless you.